board meeting to order. Today is Friday, January 25th, and it is 11:03 a.m. There is a quorum present. All board members, with the exception of Lance Losi, is present. Marvin Reynolds is present via video. All other board members are present in the room. And the meeting has been duly called, and notice of the meeting was posted as required by law. So we're going to jump right into the agenda. The meeting is being recorded, so that's good. And we're going to jump into consent items, and there are 6 of them. Any changes in the consent items?
We'd like to pull number 4, which is consider approving the district contract with Power School, and we'll have it as a discussion item. I'd like you to approve 1 through 3, 5, and 6.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve 1 through 3, 5, and 6 under B, consent items on the agenda?
Motion to approve 1 through 3, 5, and 6.
Second?
Second.
Anyone opposed? Right, motion passes unanimously, and consent items 1 through 3 and 5 and 6 are approved unanimously. All right, on to separate items.
Okay, number 1, and 5 and 6 on consent actually relate to this number 1. We just didn't want you to have to vote on them each separately, so we moved 5 and 6 to consent items. So this is, you see this every year annually. We have a window from February 1st to the end of March, I think it is right now, Robert, for submitting to our authorizer, TEA, for both charters, any expansion that we're considering for 1920, this next fall, or 2021. So we have a list that is at the table here for you that shows potential sites, and some of them have addresses. We do not submit addresses to TEA. We just submit the city to the TEA. So I'm going to let Robert discuss this for a few minutes and then see if you have any questions.
I can just quickly kind of go through the list. We have 2 sites in Houston that we're working on right now that are, we already have 2 locations that we've identified. We're in the process of releases on there right now. We have a possible autism school in Austin that we're looking at. We have this would be for fall of 2020.
That's a partnership with Easter Seal.
That is the former commissioner.
Former commissioners involved, right? Robert Scott.
Robert Scott. So we also have, we are in the process of looking at a Christian academy in El Paso that's going to convert to a charter. And that, well, we have Public Classical Academy. This is one we're looking for a facility last year. We've identified a facility this year to open in the fall of 2020. We're also looking at a Founders Classical Academy in San Antonio, expansion in the San Antonio area. And then we want to talk about
the last 2, Heritage, San Antonio and Del Rio. This is the Shekinah Learning Institute charters that we helped save from being closed by the state. We placed employees of ResponsiveEd on the board of Heritage, as well as placing one of our employees down there as superintendent. So we are having discussions with that board, with TEA, of they don't like the word merge, but basically merging the Heritage like we merged several years ago with Paradigm. You know, we've been talking about having multiple charters. This is a path of having more than 2 charters. That way each of our models, each of our brands has their own charter. So they're held accountable by themselves. That's what Heritage is, those 2 on.
Looking at 2021, we presented a 6-year plan to you guys. I think last year we updated it. Once a year we come back with you guys and talk to you about the 6-year plan that had you guys approved in the past. So some of these things are continuing to follow through with that 6-year plan. We're in the process of updating that 6-year plan right now, so we can come back to you. Our plan is to come back to you in March, so we can kind of update and show you, step by step each one of those sites that we projected back, a couple of years ago that we were going to do, and we can update you on that and exactly what happened, and then updating it for 5 to 6 years. Well, so we'll be coming back to that. But these sites are a part of that plan. So Woodlands Classical, we currently have a Woodlands Classical campus in the Woodlands. So we are looking at Woodlands as the population of the Woodlands area is you got the new Exxon has moved in there. There's thousands and thousands of kids that are available there. We have one currently open that serves K through 5, K through 6 campus. So we're wanting to expand that into a K-12. We also have a campus in Willis, Texas, that we're currently leasing from a church there that we want to probably consolidate out of that church Conroe area. So we're looking in the Conroe Woodlands area to add another site that we can open up, and this would be a new construction. So we'll have more information come back with the costs and details of the plan, facility costs, and all that. We'll bring that back, get that together. So Woodlands would be a new build, Founders Classical in Keller. That's the North Fort Worth area. That was a part of our plan as well. We've identified a piece of land at 801 South Main in Keller that we've put a contract in. I believe the contract was in your packet there. So that was right at $2.9 million. So that's today as well. South Fort Worth is a location that we're looking at that's been purchased by an organization that does construction for charter schools called Atlas. They have a property that they purchased in South Fort Worth that we're currently looking at as a possibility of acquiring that piece of property from them and building a school there. Austin, Round Rock area, we have identified a piece of land in Austin. Not quite ready to bring that to you this meeting, but by the next meeting we'll be bringing that to you for approval. We also have Fort Worth East, which we recently applied for a federal grant for that campus, and we're also looking at a church for a Founders Classical Academy in Sherman, all under the TCPA. Those are the TCPA sites. For the premier sites, 1920, we have the two possibles in Houston, one in Corpus Christi, 2021 for PHS. If the two in Houston don't open in the fall of 19, we've also put those on here for fall of 20. We're still working out the details with that. We also have Odessa, Sharpstown, the Bel Air area of Houston, Cypress for premiers in 2020.
So understand you're not approving all these being open. You're approving us submitting this to the state to where then we can move down that road. All right. We're asking that you approve this list. This will not be going to TEA. We will have a resolution that just shows the city name.
Any questions for anyone? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve separate item number 1, an approval of the submission for the 2019 to 2020 and the 2020 to 2021 expansion for the Texas College Preparatory Academies and Schools. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? All right. Separate item number 1 passes unanimously, and we approve the submission of the 2020-21 expansion for the Texas Preparatory and Premier Schools.
Okay. Number 2, actually should read, consider approval to purchase and finance land in Keller, Texas. We're not ready to discuss the construction of a new facility, but it's the purchase of the land Robert just mentioned. So Robert is going to talk a little more about that.
We've been looking in the North Fort Worth area about 12 months, looking to see if we could find a piece of property over there. And we did put, I believe in your packet of information, you received a kind of a summary on what we're looking at for. So I'm not going to go into all those details about the community information stuff. But there are quite a large number of students available in that part of the city over there. So we were able to identify a piece of property that is right on 377 at 801 South Main Street. It's actually 377 runs down from Roanoke, down through Keller, down to Fort Worth. So very good location, a very, very high traffic area, lots of homes in the area. We were able to identify that at 2,950,000. So we're asking, we put the contract in, but we have 90 days as feasibility period. So we're working through the feasibility now, which would be the engineering, all that we have to work with the city as to whether we can have a charter application. So we're in that process right now.
Sorry, what was the dollar amount?
2,950,000.
So just under 3.
And what was the size?
And Frisco, just as a comparison, I think Frisco was what, $4 million for the land. So this is
How many acres?
This is 15 acres.
That's about a third.
How many acres is Flower Mound, do you know? 18?
Flower Mound's 18 acres.
That's coming along nicely though.
That would be great.
That was about $4 million.
Drives the kids crazy going to school there.
What was the address of this?
801 South Main Street. About a mile. Well, I'll show you where the rest. Where you're at.
Yeah.
So this has been a part of our discussions on the plans, and this is just the land we finally found, and we're asking for approval to purchase the land at a little under 3.
Other schools in close proximity are performing well.
They are, yes. There is one. I think there's 2 charters. There's 2 charters in the area, and then there's also school districts in the area, and they're all performing well. So it's going to be very similar to a Frisco or a Flower Mound in their bracket.
And it's still growing. Keller is a popular spot. Good. Okay. Any other questions? No? We hear a motion to approve separate item number 2 and the approval of the purchase and finance of the facility. Purchase the land and the finance of, but not the construction of the new facility.
So motion to approve the purchase and financing of the land in Keller.
Second.
Second.
Anyone opposed? All right. The approval of the purchase, finance of the land in Keller is approved unanimously. All right, separate item number 3.
And we're asking the board to remove that today. We will bring that back. We're actually going to bring that back as a part of our normal update for 1920.
Okay, so that's good.
So we have 2 discussion items, if you don't mind.
Right, we're going to talk about number 4.
Number 4, right. So number 4, we have been developing over 20 years our own student management system called Aplodesk, and we've had a lot of tweaks through that time. The state has something called PEAMS that you submit data to the state, and they have data standards, and those data standards change, I think, every year, right? But there's some, 3 years ago, they had major changes to it.
It did, with the structure of the submission and then what data held.
So we have decided, we've looked at several vendors, we narrowed it down to 2 for replacing this internal system. It's just too much to continue thinking we're going to be able to hire enough programmers like a power school would to stay up on it. So the schools in the area, the district schools, almost all of them use either eSchool Plus or they use Skyward. Skyward is the product we use for the financial piece for our district. They do have a student management piece. So we have decided on Power School, which provides us eSchool Plus. It's going to be around $350 to $500,000 when you see it, when we bring it back to you. Then annually is about $150,000 every year once we get everything moved over to the new system. So removed it today to discussion. Wanted to give you a chance to hear about it before we actually have it on there as a contract. We're also still going through negotiation. So Robert or James, do you want to add anything to that for today?
I had one thing to add, which was based on what you said, you might ask, why not Skyward? That'd be kind of the first question I'd probably ask, since we're already working with Skyward. Just a couple of things that they moved to a new version. It's completely different than the version of Skyward for our system. So the two, regardless, require a creation system. eSchool Plus already has an integration with the older Skyward. We go with Skyward would have to build the integration
Really?
to their own system.
That's interesting.
So there's that's
Crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
The other is that we can basically, as we go forward, at some point in time, we will be upgrading our financial system and things like that. The vendors actually use competitive leverage to get a better situation. But at the end of the day, eSchool Plus is more aligned in the manner that allows more flexibility across the different from structural for us. With two different districts, virtual, multiple model schools, just allow more. So that's kind of want to give that. So why we're
Power School is the company and eSchool Plus is the product?
There is a Power School product,
Okay.
and they acquired eSchool Plus a couple of years ago. Power School is used, I think Apple even owned it at one point. It's used a lot in California on the West Coast. eSchools Plus was developed almost from day one to integrate with the PEAM system in Texas. Today, that's why a lot of public schools use it in Texas. But it's now owned by Power School. And Power School also owns our lottery program.
That's the only
What's
thing
the
I
name of
would
it?
add is called InfoSnap.
InfoSnap.
They actually, we do our recruiting process, recruiting and students and the lottery and stuff through the InfoSnap product. So we're currently using that, and it already integrates with School Plus. So people don't have to do that first.
And obviously, the service you receive for your existing product has been satisfactory with this organization.
I'm gonna say that it needs to improve, but they've been bought out by a better.
Power School just purchased it,
What's
right?
that?
Power School just purchased
Power School just
in the last
purchased
6
them, so we're
months.
expecting them to and they say that they're going to put. They did not have student product previously, so this is something for them to do. And they also seem to be reasonably effective. Effective purchasing.
So just a discussion item today.
Okay, great. Anything else to bring up for this meeting?
Second thing, real quick, is board meeting times. We can turn it over to Sarah. She's been investigating this, and let her start this discussion.
So Lance has had a change in position at work. So he actually is having sales call meetings during our board time. Plus he's 2 hours behind us. So I think that the best thing to do is consider changing the times that we meet. So he'll be able, if we keep it where it is now, he would only probably be maybe every other meeting, maybe. But he gave me some times that he's available, so I can either send that to you all, check your calendar, see what kind of schedule. But the idea that I was having that seems like, and I could be wrong because I haven't talked to all you guys yet, but I think that we flipped it to Friday afternoons in general. start lunch, go in there. We'd be able to.
So we can do Friday afternoons, or we can do today.
Yeah, we can do
Thursday.
today. There's other options that he's provided, but
Moving the data. So
okay.
unless we did nighttime.
Okay.
Which would, in some cases. Yeah, so let me know, just from my perspective, times, the lunch to, sometime after might work. I've got a standing meeting every Friday, but I can have some else attend.
Well, also, I mean, we could do it later. We could do something like 2 to 5. Or
Get the name of the program. There's a program where you can electronically show different times and you'll pick them. So we'll put a bunch of different options, something like that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. That's a great idea.
I mean, and then there's also the chance of having back with Lance and he.
Survey. You do survey. That's not. All right, that was it. Anything else?
Yeah, no,
No.
we'll just work on it. I just wanted y'all to know.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we need to go into closed session before we adjourn. So, and I'm going in under closed session, states policy pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. We are authorized to go into closed session. No votes will be taken until we reconvene in open session. Good. Okay. Meeting is now back in open session. Right? I don't even get, we have all board members are present except for Lance Losi. And so we're going to make a motion to approve what was discussed in closed session. So I'm going to make the motion to approve the CEO's compensation that was discussed and as discussed in closed session. And that part of it will be deferred until a later date to discuss, but at least for what was discussed in closed session, we'll be making a motion to approve. We have a second? Second. Well, even Marvin was a little louder than Joe. Does anyone oppose? Okay, the motion to approve what was discussed on compensation in closed session is approved unanimously. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, the Texas Charter's board meeting is now adjourned.